Hello, I'm happy that we meet again for a new interesting subject. I hope you are doing well. The topic of discussion is the trends you need to watch about France's economy. France's economy is at a crucial point. France is standing at one of its most uncertain economic moments in decades. The country built its economy on strong public services, industrial power, global luxury brands, and nuclear energy. The country is one of Europe's largest economies. Now it's facing pressure from all sides. There's an effort to invest money in technology, energy, defense, transportation, and industrial renewal. Growth is slowing. Public debt is climbing. Industries are not at the best. They are facing tough competition within Europe, in Asia, and now with lower cost economies. Global trade tensions are not helping France's economy. This is a very disturbing situation for workers and youth. Can we ask ourselves if France is slowly losing competitiveness? Is this the beginning of a long-term decline or a preparation for economic rebound? France is constantly in the top 7 of world's strongest economies as per GDP classification. Big conglomerates in the aerospace sectors are located in France. We can add well-known luxury goods, transportation, defense, agriculture, and energy. The country attracted millions of tourists every year, bringing consistent revenues to the travel and tourism industry. But behind the image of Paris, luxury, fashion, and tourism, the global economy of this country is not at its best. Recent data shows a complex picture. The Eurozone's second largest economy is underperforming. Economic growth is modest, public debt is high, and spending is rising. Household consumption and investment remain fragile. Industrial competitiveness is under pressure, and regularly serious social tensions are seen in the country today. We will highlight key details that show the economic situation in France. 1. France's growth outlook: slow, fragile but resilient. France's GDP growth is projected at 0.8% in 2026. The same as 2025. Energy shocks and geopolitics negatively affect economic growth. 2027 could be better as the GDP target is at 1.1%. Aeronautics and defense exports will greatly boost the economic result. Banque de France forecasts 0.9% growth in 2026, with a rebound to 1.2% by 2028 as exports and domestic demand recover. This is a low-growth cycle. This perspective will depend on exports, providing international tensions cool down. 2. Inflation rising again, but still among Europe's lowest. Inflation is expected to rise to 2.4% in 2026 due to energy prices before easing to 1.8% in 2027. Banque de France sees inflation at 1.7% in 2026, falling to 1.4% in 2027 before rising slightly again. France currently maintains one of the lowest inflation rates in the Eurozone, around 1% according to recent INSEE data. We can see that inflation is not France's weakest point. 3. Public debt and deficits, the biggest red flag. France's public debt is projected to reach 120% of GDP by 2027. Up from 115.6% in 2025, deficits remain high at 5.1% in 2026, rising to 5.7% in 2027. Rating agency CRA downgraded France to AA, citing persistent deficits and political deadlock. This is a serious vulnerability. Structural reforms need to address those problems. Growth and investment will remain weak in the deficit situation. 4. Labor market in the wrong trend. The labor market is not a stabilizing force. Unemployment is expected to rise from 7.7% to 8.3% in 2026. and 8.7% in 2027. Payroll employment is projected to decline in both 2026 and 2027. Activity rates are high due to pension reforms, but job creation is slowing. 5. Consumption and investment. Households are cautious. Households are tightening their purses. Consumption remains subdued due to higher energy prices and pressure on real incomes. Savings rates remain high at 17.6%, limiting spending. How to stimulate households' consumption to the economy? Positive signs need to be developed and promoted for consumers to resume spending their incomes. For now, geopolitics crises and fuel shocks are in consumers' minds. Then they are in a wait-and-see mode, saving money as they could for the future. Investment is limited due to high interest rates, especially in construction. 6. Sector trends, where France is still strong. France's industries are sustaining the general economy. Strong export in aerospace and defense. Investment in information and communication technology is projected to accelerate. Manufacturing PMI is above 50, indicating expansion. 7. Business sentiment and structural challenges. External risks are rising. Eurozone sentiment is weakening due to geopolitical uncertainty. Business climate indicators are near long-term averages, suggesting stable but modest activity. Services PMI is below 50, signaling contraction. Productivity is stagnant, innovation is low, and public debt supports consumption rather than production without reforms. Economists warn of a gradual decline threatening France's social model. Conclusion. Earlier we asked the question if France is at a turning point. Based on the arguments we exposed, we can say France is at a crossroads. Challenges situations, but not impossible to resolve. Competitiveness of its industry is key to boost its exports. For now, political and social tensions are slowing economic reforms. Growth is stable but weak. Debt is rising dangerously. Inflation is manageable. Key industries are strong. Is France able to put under control its public debt, to invest more in innovation and stimulate internal consumption of goods and services? The future will clarify the answer. Thank you for your attention. Please support our work. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Please watch the next video I selected for you at the end of this page.